industry, academia, students! Here's your chance to come together. Join us for the first annual CIO Campus Connections on the 11th of Feb 2011 at the Royal Rodal, Karachi. Celebrating the completion of the first Campus Conversation series, we're inviting students, the academia, and the industry to engage in a great, big, gigantic mentor train and a killer knockout round where all three stakeholders will fight it out to solve issues about salaries, GPA, and the availability of jobs. There's also a special competition for students who want to pitch their ideas to a VC. If your idea fits on a 4x4 piece of paper and the VC likes it, you could walk away with a prize. Log on to ciopakistan.com/cc for details or contact Shafaq Tariq at cc@ciopakistan.com.
University, English accent, high salary, a job in a multinational. Why does society only reward the comfort zone? Meaning, why doesn't it take risks? That's what I'm thinking it means. Yeah. So for that, let's first see some people from studios.
This is Arka Batul from Fast National University.
Kamran Mir from HBL.
This is Asif Shah, and I teach communication and advertising design at Ikra University.
First of all, I'm fully agree with the topic as it says, why we come out of comfort zone. As I have witnessed this in the industry, we see that when you go for interview in some company or something, and they see your accent, how you speak, especially the English language, and how you behave, interact, and all that. But what I have seen is most of जो सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ आती है how one speaks English. Okay, I have been what I say a victim of it. I can't say victim of it, but we have done that kind of thing. Okay, first of all, let me just add one thing which is very important. That is, there is a initiative of Government of Pakistan, which is Outreach Scholarship Program. They take the students from outreach areas, the rural areas, and bring them in the main cities and taught them, high-tech courses. I myself belong to a rural area, and I'm here studying in Pakistan government scholarship, right? So, something related to it. Okay, as we all know, from rural areas, there are people, they have different accents. So, वो बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छी अंग्रेजी नहीं बोल सकते. But तो उनको यहाँ पर आके they have faced a very good programmers, they are very good software developers. Yet they feel, just because they don't speak English language, they feel, neglected. Or this is very true कि उनको थोड़ा सा side पे रखा जाता है. Even if they know the thing, they know how to sort out problems. Yet उनको पीछे रखा जाता है just because they can't speak good English. Okay. What I want to add is here कि industry को ये नहीं देखना चाहिए कि like how good communicate. Not obviously this is a plus point, but this is not the only point to judge a person or his skills. So industry के लोगों को just ये नहीं देखना चाहिए how well a person speaks English, बल्कि they should see their work कि how well they perform and how well they behave and all that. So ये होता है कि normally there is some kind of discrimination. When you go and interview and you just say Assalamualaikum, even people have problems with that. I'm sorry, but that's true. So it's like maybe they have a point of view as Pakistan is quite high in outsourcing. So they have their industries have their clients other countries in countries like US, Europe, and all that. So maybe they need good communicators as well. But I want to add that those जिनको अच्छी अंग्रेजी नहीं आती, उनको इस बात पे सिर्फ पीछे ना कर दिया जाए कि उनको अच्छी अंग्रेजी नहीं आती, इसलिए मतलब they can't be good at anything. So I just want to practice it.
I think from what I understood, the question to be is why do companies hire people from the comfort zone?
Also a little bit about why students want to work for multinationals only. So I think it's
Did I go out of topic? No, I thought the topic is as why we give preferences to the people who are from comfort zone. I mean, we give preferences.
No, you're right. Yeah.
I think my answer is going to also give a small solution to yours as well. I think one of the first jobs that I had when I was 18 years old was to work for the UN in England. And the people I worked with, the students I worked with, they were from Bangladesh, China, Africa, Japan. They spoke English, they spoke their own regional languages. What they had to do was, as artists and graphic designers, was to design posters for children around the world in their own language. They had to be proficient in that language, of course. From then, when I came back to Pakistan, I teach oral communication, and I teach copyright. It's not, from what my understanding is, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Of course, you have to have the command over the English language, but then again, in my OC class, oral communication, I have students who are not able to portray their ideas across to the teachers or to the industry people who come to hire them. Now, the industry people obviously have a first preference for people who speak English proficiently. But then again, you have people who don't speak the language very well, but are able to have ideas inside them. Now, there's that middle line that comes in. Who is able to train these people to actually communicate to the people who want the job that I have a good idea, and I want to send this idea to you. It's just that you are not comfortable with the fact that I don't speak English proficiently. Now, you might have people who speak it absolutely proficiently, like grammarians from grammar school. They can speak it really well, but it's not how you say at that point, it's what you have to say. So, there's a fine line that's drawn between this like give and take kind of thing. And the organization has to understand for itself if they are actually getting an individual, be it anywhere from the student body or from the person who's applying for a job, does the person have anything to say in the first place? It's not how you say it. So it's a win-lose-win-win-win lose-lose situation. There's no like fine line you say it's the organization's fault or it's the student's fault. I don't think it's anybody's fault. It's just you understanding, is the message there? Do you have something to say? How you say it can be adapted. I can teach you an English language, an American accent within 2 months. But does that mean that you have a change in your ideas, in your ideation, in your perception of what you have to say? That's up to you. Does the English language win, your accent, or the actual product which you have to say? What do you have to say?
इन्होंने वैलेंटाइन डे का जिक्र कर दिया as soon as I entered. Now that's a classic example of this bloody comfort zone, because I didn't know what is Valentine's Day when I was the age of these children.
May I interrupt you? It's got nothing to do with romance at all. It's all about blood. Because it's all about bloodshed. Because Valentine was found to be having an affair with somebody who was getting things closer. He might find her and
Fascinating, but let's stay on.
Yeah, so we don't want to talk about history, because then we can also talk about the history of Jesus Christ, and we don't want to do that. But that's the whole point, right? Our idioms and the name of the club and stuff like that. वो सब रंगे हुए हैं उसमें, लेकिन when you get into industry, you just put it aside. It doesn't belong. It doesn't appear anymore. In the industry, you have to deliver on results because you're in a commercial, cutthroat, competitive environment. And it doesn't exist the moment you probably leave your teenage years. There's no such thing as a comfort zone which you have to get out of. It isn't there. There's no such thing as a comfort zone. In an industry, you have to compete and deliver on commercial results. They don't care which language you speak or what jackets you wear and what shoes you wear. I don't care.
Just because, I'm sorry to interrupt, but just because when the students, I'm just talking from the current point of view of students, just because when students appear in the interviews, so they cut out the students, even with high innovative ideas, but just because they can't speak good English. I have seen this, and I know this. I have seen this happen.
Well, I think it depends on the requirements. If you're hiring somebody to teach English in a school, you're going to check for the English skills. It doesn't happen. Oh, software industry?
Yes, exactly.
I think they are always asking for C# and .NET and Java and Pascal.
Yes,
they don't say you have to speak
No,
English.
exactly. Just because when you go to the interview, they see your communication skills as well how well you speak English. I'm sorry if I, remind, CIU campus conversation happened in our campus, and the person from, I don't remember which software house, he clearly said that your accent has to be very good, and your GPA has to be very high and all that. So, that
There is a GPA to hai na?
Okay,
GPA
right? He mentioned this, that you have to be very good, accent.
Yeah, some guy may have mentioned it. मेरा सही ख्याल है, no responsible लोग हैं, लेकिन मैं उर्दू में आ गया हूँ. I don't want to talk about it.
But the point is not just कि Urdu की बात या English की बात. It's also it's a trajectory. You go to this kind of university, you speak the language which is English. you look a certain way, and then that means that you will get a high-paying job in a multinational.
Well, yes, that's what I was saying. लेकिन अगर आप multinational में जाते हैं, वो चूंकि Western culture की embodiment होती है, इसलिए they look for those things. वो उन चीजों को ढूंढते हैं आप में. लेकिन multinational companies 10% है हमारी economy में. They're very big. लेकिन they only employ 10% of the workforce. 90% of the workforce is not working in multinationals, and the managers and the CEOs and the boards of those companies, I don't think they are going to be stupid enough to let go of good people just because they can't speak English. Software industry में तो ये ट्रेंड है ही नहीं. इतने मेरे उस्ताद बैठे हुए यहाँ पे, मुझे सेकंड करें आप लोग. ये कहाँ है ट्रेंड सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री में?
Not my personal experience, but from some friends I have heard. Like they went for interview for some.
Multinational में होगा.
No, I'm not talking about
क्योंकि वो तो embodiment है.
some Pakistani companies who are outsourcing. But they are just outsourcing. So
but if they are outsourcing for a call center, then they actually teach you to speak in the American accent. That's the requirement of the job.
My understanding of this topic was very little. It had very little connection with the industry, in my opinion, other than the fact that students only want to do jobs in multinationals. The comfort zone of taking risks from a society point of view, what connection does that have with the industry? I mean, Pakistani people, we are middle class society. For example, if I take my own example, my family example, we are very afraid of taking risks. What kind of risk can I take in such a society where people are very much preoccupied in just providing food and clothing for themselves? How is a member of this kind of society can take risks when we've got such security issues, political issues prevailing there? So my question is, what was the connection of industry and students when it comes to this topic?
I do want to respond. The five hypotheses are actually things that all the students and faculty and industry members have identified that ये हमारे सबसे बड़े मसाइल हैं. This high society bit is actually pointed out. I remember we went to PF Keat and they thrashed me and they said, how dare you come in and do all high flying English with us. I mean, that's something which seems to be an issue. If it's not an issue, we should be able to sit out here and prove or disprove, because it's all part of culture and society is what it is. Nadeem, you need to moderate. We have a couple of comments here.
The judge also wants to say.
Oh, sure.
One of the judges also wants to say a comment.
Yes, obviously. Should we judge the judge?
I would basically ask question with the industry sitting here, that do you think that if a person coming in for an interview, a software developer mainly, right, and if he's coming to you, sitting in front of you, speaking a very good accent for English mainly, then would you evaluate him based on the language or the accent he's speaking in, or would you evaluate him based on the skill set? And what if he doesn't have the skill set and he has a very good accent? How many of you would hire him?
Or her.
Okay, let the judge answer that. We will have a debate among us.
Very briefly, sir.
I represent the software house. I hire a lot of people also. आप लोग ये भूल जाते हैं कि everything else being equal, then you have to look at it. आप अंग्रेजी पकड़ के बैठ जाते हैं कि अंग्रेजी नहीं आई इसलिए मुझे नहीं दिया. If everything else is equal और उसकी अंग्रेजी बेहतर है, मैं लूंगा उस अंग्रेजी वाले को क्योंकि because he has one more skill than you have. आप लोग ये तो भूल जाते. So if your skills are better and वो सिर्फ अंग्रेजी आती है, I don't need that guy. But everything else being equal, अगर तो उसकी अंग्रेजी बेहतर है, मैं जरूर.
आपको इस बात की कोई मार्क्स नहीं मिलेगी.
Shall we move on to the next topic?
Hang on. There are a couple of comments. If I can just maybe just cut off after like 30 seconds to read that. So just some very brief comments, and then we need to move on to the next topic. What's the answer first?
I think the question was about the comfort zone of the people who want a job in multinationals or people who are hiring. You see, so let me just say for the people who are hiring, for example, if somebody is better qualified in terms of if he can bring in lower return on investment, the people go for that. So this guy can do a job quickly after train the other guy a job. So they go for that. दूसरी चीज है कि culturally successful. I've seen my friend doing it, so I will do it too. So these are the reasons which I have about why people don't want to leave the company.
I would like to make a comment. There was PNG that came to our university last semester, and they took a guy named Jahangir, who's a pure mullah. Okay, he touched his salwar up a little bit. He has a beard, and he got in. And he also got a chance to travel to some other place. I don't know which country he went to for training. And they dropped people who had full American accents and had come from America. So you can't really butcher them. They're not crazy people. They know the difference, among people who know how to speak. I happened to be at a conference conducted by Nokia at this Rabia stage, and the guy who won the top prize for developing a software, he did not have perfect English skills. I was watching him, and he still got the first prize. But companies are not crazy. Come on, students might be. You might have jealousy of each other. You might make fun of other, each other. Ke wo tu lost penta, uni penta.
Rabia.
Penta hai, you lost. I mean female, okay. But it's not about the enemies. They're not crazy. I don't think so. And this is a student from IB.
You obviously going to get into it, right?
Yes, for the now or mobile number. But maybe.
Next.